Hey, welcome back, YouTube. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel, and I hope you're having an absolute magical day. Thanks to the Historic Anthology 6 release that we just seen last week within Magic the Gathering Arena, we have some really cool new cards to brew around. Today, playing Historic Best of 1 with Azorius Land Destruction. In the video, we'll break down the deck list, talk about the strategies, the synergies, showcasing all of this within our gameplay footage, and then wrapping up with our final thoughts and deck review. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's take a look at the deck. All right, here we are with an Azorius Land Destruction deck, and this is made possible thanks to all of the new Indestructible lands that we've seen drop within Historic Anthology 6. We have the Mistvault Bridge, the Goldmire Bridge, Razortide Bridge, and of course the Darksteel Citadel, all from previous sets being injected to the Magic Gathering Arena card collection, right? So this is super exciting. And the strategy of the deck will be your typical control aspect, which will reorient you to if you're unfamiliar. But added with a little bit of land destruction thanks to these new lands, and then Fall of the Thran. When it enters play for 6 mana, destroy all lands. Now this is really nice because the majority of our lands, like mentioned, have Indestructible, so we will be destroying all of our opponent's lands, while all of our lands remain in play, which is really nice. On the second 2 triggers of the saga, Fall of the Thran, each player will return 2 land cards from their graveyard to the battlefield. We can mitigate this through Divide by 0. 3 mana at instant speed to return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand. If this mana value was 4 or less, learn. We will not get the learn as the mana value is 6. However, we can bounce the fall back to our hand so the next 2 triggers will not go off. Then our opponent will be stuck with no lands while we retain all of our indestructible lands, allowing us to really take off with the remainder of the match. With that being said, it is your typical control deck on the front end. The Fairy, allowing us to draw cards, untap lands, continuous card advantage, and then eventually working our way into the -8. You get an emblem with whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent and opponent controls. So if they do happen to start drawing and playing more lands, we, of course, can still Fall of the Thran again. However, it is quite nice just to exile them from the battlefield through the Teferi emblem. So those are our 2 priorities. Destroy their lands while retaining our own, and then accumulate Teferi emblem for ourselves. There's a ton of counter magic. There is a ton of removal within the deck. Dovin's Veto, the first of the counter magic at instant speed for 2. This spell cannot be countered, and we can counter target non-creature spell, coming in very handy against other control decks. We have Absorb for 3 at instant speed, countering target spell, gaining 3 life. I love Absorb. The fact that it counters a spell is fantastic, but you'll also gain life, which is really nice in some of those more aggro-oriented matchups where your opponent is putting in fast damage. We have Divide by 0 acting as a form of control here as well. If our opponent is being faster than we need, of course, we can use Divide by 0 to interact with their field state, slowing them down a little bit tempo-wise, and then most likely taking advantage of the Learn. Learn will allow us to access one of the lessons from our sideboard. We'll wrap up the deck tech with those cards. Moving on, we have a Field Wipe within Day of Judgment for 4 mana, acting as a very nice control card, destroying all creatures at sorcery speed. Similar to the Wrath of God for 4 at sorcery speed, destroying all creatures. However, they cannot be regenerated with the Wrath of God. And then actually, and I shouldn't have this card in the deck, but it is a good segue to some of the other new cards that we have received within Magic the Gathering Arena as well. The Supreme Verdict for 4 at sorcery speed. This spell cannot be countered to destroy all creatures. This is very, very nice. Included within the Explorer Anthology 1. If you're unfamiliar, you can check out more videos of that, I believe, right here on this channel, which is super exciting. And then, of course, the Wandering Emperor can -2 to exile tapped creature, gaining 2 life, acting as a form of control, and Teferi's -3 as well. Put target non-land permanent on the top of its owner's library, third from the top, which is quite nice here as well. Similar to Divide by Zero, just getting a little bit of a tempo play. It's actually a little bit better because it goes into their library and they'll have to redraw that card rather than just going back to their hand. But, you know, potato, potato, at the end of the day, you're buying yourself more time. So now some of the value aspects of the deck. Of course, Divide by Zero can learn, but we also have planeswalkers like Narset, Harder of the Veils for 3, 5 loyalty when she enters. Each opponent cannot draw more than 1 card each turn. This is fantastic. -2, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them, putting it into your hand, and then the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. So again, you know, stopping any card advantage that your opponent may be accumulating while helping you accumulate some of your own. Absolutely fantastic. The Wandering Emperor, I quite like because it can not only put +1/+1 counters on your creatures, you know, to make them a little bit sturdier because we don't have a ton of them in the build, but also it can make those creatures, right? Literally doing everything. The Wandering Emperor is fantastic. So for that -1 ability, creating a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance and the +1 to put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It will also gain first strike until the end of turn. And let's remember that the Wandering Emperor, for 4 mana with 3 starting loyalty, has flash. And when she enters the battlefield, she can activate her loyalty abilities anytime that we could cast an instant speed spell, which is, you know, unbeatable as far as I'm concerned. We have the Memory Deluge here as well. 3 copies of this at instant speed for 4 as well. Looking at the top X cards of our library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Putting 2 of them into our hand and the rest in the bottom of our library in a random order. Replaying it from the grave through the flashback cost of 7. Very nice. Very, very good to ensure that we have consistent card advantage throughout the match. Speaking of consistent card advantage, the key to the archive is just that for 4 mana, entering the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, we get to draft a spell from the spellbook, which is the most broken spellbook of any card in Historic or Alchemy, as far as I'm concerned. And then we can tap it to add 2 mana of any combination of colors, which again is fantastic, as it is not a land. It will not be destroyed when we play Fall of the Thran, and it will ensure that we retain mana advantage over our opponent, which is quite nice. The spellbook, our main goal here is Approach of the Second Sun. If the spell is cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you'll win the game, right? It's just, there's your win con. Boom, gotcha. And of course, otherwise, it's put into our library, 7th from the top, and we also will gain 7 life. So there's some nice sustainability here within our life total as well. Our second play will be Time Warp. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. And then everything else is just kind of groovy. Counter spell, grab something from our library, destroy non-black creature, you know, 3 damage, grab control of, you know, destroy artifact, enchantment, grab something from our graveyard, you know, exile mana value 4 or greater, 2 damage, divide it as we choose and draw a card, and then, you know, play an additional land to draw a card as well. And 3 damage, 3 life, destroy artifact or creature. You know, there's so much here within the spellbook, and they're all fantastic cards, but a few of them definitely are a little bit better than the others, like Approach, like the double turn here through Time Warp, right? Alrighty, so more value through Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. We talked about that +1. Draw a card, and then at the beginning of your next end step, untap 2 lands, right? So you're basically gaining a card advantage, and then retaining mana advantage through the untapped lands so you can interact favorably on your opponent's turn as well, whether it be a Wandering Emperor, a Veto, an Absorb, a Divide by Zero, or even just, you know, a Memory Deluge to help you continue that mana journey, or not mana journey, but card advantage journey that we're really on within the deck. And we talked about the -8 emblem also leading us to victory here. Ooh, wow, it's a big deck, but don't wait, there's more. We have the lesson. Academic Probation for 2, Sorcery Speed, choose one of the 2 modes on the card. Choose a non-land card name. Opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name until our next turn, or choose a non-land permanent, and then until our next turn, it can neither attack, block, and activated abilities cannot be activated. So this is really just identifying troublemakers and shutting them down for a single turn, allowing us just a little bit of wiggle room, right? Environmental Scientist, gaining 2 life, searching for a basic land, putting it into our hand. This is nice to ensure that we continue to curve out. Reduce to memory. This is very nice just for that control aspect. Add sorcery speed for 3. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller will create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Teaching of the Archaics as a value-based card here. For 3 mana, sorcery speed. If an opponent has more cards in hand than us, draw 2 cards. If they have more than 4 cards in hand than us, we will draw 3 instead, which is quite nice. And then the Mascot Exhibition, creating a 2/1 with flying, a 3/2, and a 4/4, which is quite enjoyable. Total power of 9 here. And again, once you've dealt with your opponent's lands, you have full field control. You know, play that Mascot Exhibition, attack in, get the win. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We have Seat of the Empire here. We can channel it for 3, dealing 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. 1 less to activate for each legendary creature that we control, which we don't have any of, but still worth mentioning. And the Soaring City in similar fashion for 4, bouncing target, artifact, planeswalker, and creature, or enchantment back to its owner's hand, which is quite nice. And then we already talked about the Indestructible lands here. The Cataracts is more reliable than the Citadel. However, I like to run both. The Citadel is cat butt. I'm so sorry. The Citadel is nice because it's an uncommon, and the Cataracts is a rare. Cataracts is strictly better because you can pay that 5+1 total of 6 to add 5 mana in any colored combination, which, you know, is just a little bit better. At the end of the day, it's just a 2-color deck, and we don't need it much, but it is still worth mentioning for everybody who's wanted to run the Cataracts but hasn't. Now you get the option through the Citadel as a budget-friendly play. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's deck tech, and now we'll break into some gameplay footage to showcase this wonderful Azorius Control land destruction build. So cheers, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you after for the deck review. Going first, only 2 lands. That's fairly frightening. Play slow. Mist Vault Bridge. Entering tapped with Indestructible. Immediate access to our hand. Now, did they take Narset? The key? They do take the key. Never punished. This will be a white source for us. And, yeah. Maybe it should have been a blue source for Narset. Never punished. Beautiful. Now if we can find another white source, all is well. I mean, a counterspell's not bad. Especially if they don't do anything this turn, then it's really good. They can see our entire hand, except for the key. Our turn. Huh. Resolve. Have your land. I mean, oh, Gross Spot was a good card, but what do you do? Draw your own second white source like you need it. That's a perfect draw. Let's take the Wandering Emperor. Play the key. Time Warp is fantastic. Discard Day of Judgment. It's a pretty good looking hand so far. Binding on our key. Woof woof, baby. That's definitely not bad, dude. Land out. Last turn. They search for a forest. This is nice because you can take the triomes out. They do take a Zagoth triome. Not just the triomes, but I know some of them aren't referred to as triomes with the 3 mana Cyclone lands. Alrighty then. get our Emperor on and just try to build a board state here. I think we're going to need it.
Feel the energy of battle. Then guide.
One Samurai, please. Their mana base is, you know, very, very nice thanks to the World Tree. Go ahead with the draw. I mean, it's good, but it's not going to end the game. Samurai goes to 3. This isn't bad, right? This is fairly decent. We take a good hit. We end turn. Touch. They know we have this counterspell. It's going to be hard to get around. They basically have to send out bait for it. Which is maybe what all those growth spirals were about. It's like, well, let's try to get a counter. Let's try to get a counter, right? Elder Gurgi? Elder Gargle? Did they counter the counter? No, okay, thankfully. Was that the bait? That's a good card. Another spiral. What is this, right? On our upkeep. Another land. It is in untapped. Interesting. Let's hit for 4. Barry out. No counter spell. Beautiful. Barry goes up for the draw. Still no counter spell. Let's untap some lands here. Allrun's Epiphany. Okay. I understand. Oh, nice. It was bait. It was bait indeed. Okay, so we're going to give them a creature and then destroy the creatures. Ultimatum. Fantastic card from Ikoria. Okay, goes back to their library. They get Sea God, which is an 8/8. They get Vorinclex, which is a 6/6. And I believe this goes to the second phase, and we tap everything, even our Planeswalkers. But I think we can still activate those abilities being tapped. Potentially hit for 8. And they're going to take out Narset. They're going to take out Teferi. That's a good move, right? That's not bad at all. Definitely prioritize the Planeswalkers.
I'll have a better plan
next
Gain control of target permanent. Brutal. Give ourselves a samurai. They will take control of our emperor here. Not a fan of that. Our samurai. Oh, again, nice, dude. Interesting. I don't appreciate back-to-back ultimatums. Woof. Okay, so that duress is really good. Again, Valky, get out of here, dude. Titan is just really good. What do they take with the duress, though? They know just to take the shield counter, right? Because then it survives Day of Judgment. Good. And then the Rhino, maybe, right? I don't know. They gain life instead. Pushing up the Titan to an 8/8. Holy Toledos. Holy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite enough. Worst case scenario. We could zero the Wandering Emperor back to our own hand. Only we had enough mana. I mean, we could replay it. This thing's going to tap. Cat attack incoming. What up, Tuesdays? Yes, I'm sure everyone wanted to see you. Looks like you've been out in the rain. You got a little bit of a wet head, dude. All right. Taking the draw here, which is interesting. I was expecting the minus. Shadow's Verdict with Settle the Wilds. Interesting. Plussing up the Titan. Oh, and then minusing us. Nice. Okay. Let's resolve this. Get blasted here. Simba, this is not cat time. It's like it is now. They do get the minus as well, which is nice. So we're not taking quite as much damage. Let's bounce the Emperor back to our hand. Take the Exile as well. Land out. Emperor minus on the Titan. Verdict on Onyx. We lose the Emperor. I still think it's a, you know, considering what we were just facing down, it happens. I get it. It is what it is, right? We still have decent field status. Well, you know, all things. I think we can take one hit. Let's just take that draw right away. This is a counterspell. Okay, just scrying with Castle Ventress. That counterspell might cripple us if it was one. Oh, it still could be. Really? Okay. I mean, another deluge keeps the whole party going at least, right? Cycling the Triome into a growth spiral. Holy Toledos. Land out. Hit for 3 to 15. Ball of Thran off the top. Oh! Never punished. Taking the Scry, as long as it's not a counterspell. In hand, of course, you know, Scry is just looking at the top two. They get to choose to leave them there, put them in whatever order, or put them to the bottom of their library. Oh my lord. So that's really going to help. Let's destroy the creature as well. They do have one land still. Nice. And they'll get 2 more here. We also get 2. And this should be enough advantage for us to close out the game. I don't really see them casting Ultimatum or any of the big spells that Ultimatum would pull. Time Warp, please. Discard the Verdict. Play the Time Warp. Actually, play the land. Play the Deluge. All of Thran. Guess just in case. Cultivate more lands. Which is good, and then they're going to grab 2 more on our upkeep. Beautiful. They're coming back, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Tapping our basic lands. Destroying all the lands. Passing over. We're going to Memory Deluge and try to find something good here. Another Deluge. And another Fall of Thread. Why not? Oh, stop it, HGG. So, everybody grab some lands. It's fun, right? We're set out. Are set with a little bit of a diggle on the -2. Grabbing the 0. That's what we want. It's really all that we want. Take a time warp on ourselves. Thank you. Turn. Everybody grab some lands. And now we should have them in a complete lockout. 2, 3, 4. Fall of Thran. Destroy the land. Deluge the Thran back, and then they don't get any lands. Right? We're going to take that Mascot Exhibition. Our set can -2. They absorb. And then I don't see them playing anything on no land, so why not throw the key in? Regrowth is nice. And let's discard Day of Judgment. There's no creatures to destroy. Exhibition out. Last turn. Pull up Absorb. And let's just close the game out, right? Beautiful. And damage for a lethal. And, what can't we do at this point? Oh, is this not 10? No, it's only 9. Only 9 damage, HGG. I can build sweet decks. Basic math still eludes me, though. Oh, fantastic game, Lebda. Thank you so much. Going first, 3 land into the key. We like this quite a bit. Indestructible lands, as I'm sure you're aware, are also fantastic. Having 2 non-indestructible lands to open up the game, I'm a little nervous about, but we'll do our best. In all honesty, we may have wanted to start with the planes into the blue source here within the pathway to hold up veto on 2. However, countering, a 1, a 2 mana non-creature spell, probably not as worth it for us as countering, a 4 or 5, a 6 mana value spell. Then we get a little bit more bang for the buck. I kind of want to bounce this just to guarantee that we get the land. So why not interrupt the damage? Actually cancel. I'm going to take it because they'll probably play something else. Just another Ghast. I'll throw it back anyways. Ooh, it's a Deadly Dispute and we lose our Divide by 0. That's dirty. That is dirty, dudes. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. Another Deadly Dispute. Woof. Oh no, is that their first one? So confused. Past turn, we miss our land. Shouldn't there be 2 Deadly Disputes in here? Or was it just the first one resolving on the stack? I'm gonna admit, I kind of lost where we were at. Sure, you can have it. I would like to interact more favorably here, but we're not really getting the opportunity. Okay. At least we're progressing forward. Let's slam the key. Looking for a field wipe, I suppose, at some point. Luris is going to be a little bit of an aggressive thing for us to overcome as well. Might throw the veto for now. We have really nice planeswalkers. If we can get them out and then time warp, it should be good value. And there's also Fall of Thran. At any point, we could get that. We have 2 indestructible lands, which is better than nothing, right? It'll still impact them more negatively than ourselves. Oh, the oven. Wow. That's bad. It's bad news. The land is good. It's not indestructible, though, right? Seven available mana. So we'll play Narset. Shut down any potential draw that they may have. -2 for... Oh, gosh. Guess we'll grab that veto back. That's our turn. Sneak the Wandering Emperor in with the exile. They do have the oven to interact with it, so we will preferably like to exile one of their creatures when the oven is tapped, as then it's unable to interact with the creature we exile. However, we could also just -1 and make the 2/2 and block favorably. They could have removal. Ooh, they do. Beautiful. Narset to 2. Trail of Crumbs out without a counterspell behind it. Ouch, that's a nice draw engine for them. However. Let's just take it. They have treasures, they have food. This all makes me quite nervous. The treasures could really help them come back, right? Keeping them in the game tempo-wise. So have a lot of draw, which thankfully Narset does help mitigate. Able to do it once on our turn, not at all on theirs, as they have a draw step on their turn, right? Narset will shut this draw down, I believe. We nuke the lands. The goose is tapped. Do we take the goose? I think we do. It makes food. It makes food. Take the goose, dude. It is what it is. Still like shutting down their draw, so I'm going to leave Narset there. They have 1 treasure. They have a land in hand. They're going to get 2 more on our upkeep. Oh, they make a plant. That's actually quite nice. What we need is more indestructible lands, or we're stuck in the same loop they are. Luckily, the key helps us keep ahead of all this as well. Need to bounce fall just so we still have it for later. And then 3 available mana. Let's just science for a land. Now we can hold up Veto. Narset stays there to stop any double draws. They're catching back up on mana. They have 4 available here. Another oven. Probably worth the counterspell here. Yep, and it's very good. Floris into the build. Here's a Teferi. We need land. Can I have a land, please, Teferi? Indestructible as well. Should have asked for that indestructible part just a little bit sooner, son. And we can, in turn here, untap lands. Goose is okay. It is what it is. You know, even if we bounce it back, they're just going to replay it, so that happens. It's uncontrollable. Another land. Our turn. Ooh. It's really good. I'm going to Teferi up. Still basically just looking for indestructible land. Harder said than done, apparently. Need 3 mana, so we can't do that till next turn. Guess we just play the key. See what we get. Another Time Warp is fantastic. Let's discard Wrath of God. Maybe I'll regret that. I don't know. It's just a goose for now, right? Making a draw since it's our turn. Definitely not bad. Make some life along the way. We untap our lands and turn. We have Time Warps ready with Teferi on board. Very, very nice if we can execute. Making a draw. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Kitty has landed, dude. That's actually a bit of a problem. The Cauldron Familiar is a fantastic card, and they have the oven. Our turn. Land out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slay all of the lands. Fortunately, we do have 4 of them that go. We keep 3. Here comes the cat attack. Trail of Comes, taking a draw, getting a second kitty. Meow. Now a deadly dispute on the goose for the treasure. They are getting shut down by Narset on that second draw, though. The lands go bye-bye. We bounce the fall back, and that way they're not getting lands anymore. We can take the memory to kill the oven. Fairy continues to go up. Narset stays there. And turn, untap our lands. And now we just go in with the Time Warps. Fairy can get that emblem off, and then we can exile their remaining things. Oof. Take our draw. It's a land, that's not bad. Tap, not that it matters. In play. Here's another. Fairy goes up one last time. Wandering Emperor can enter. The Wandering Enterer. That's what I almost called her. I kind of like it. The Wandering Enterer. And turn. Tap the lands, doesn't matter. Fairy emblem out. Land out, key out. Discard Day of Judgment. Grip the oven. EEA Beautiful. Push up Samurai for 3. And turn. All right, all right, all right. That's quite the turn we had there. Now we exile any lands that they may get. And it should be just as easy as that, just a complete lockout. We can nuke Narset because we have another. That's not bad. Deluge is quite nice. Just looking for some goodies here. Another Deluge. Verdict, I guess. And, yeah, we just need to swing in. Close out this match slowly. Untap some lands. Cauldron Familiar in the house. I mean, technically they are winning. We're at 14, they're at 29. They've more than double our life total. Deluge away. Oh, that counterspell's nice. Exile the cat. Play the land. Deluge again. The key. Draw a card. Exile the goose. It's too many. Oh, I'm a bad boy, aren't I? Another cat coming into play. Down to 13. Let's see what we get with this other key. Time Warp, beautiful. We'll discard a Verdict. Play the Time Warp. Activate Narset, why not? Another Teferi, why not? Good game. Lord have mercy. These indestructible lands are crazy. Going first with a delicious hand. Like, you could literally eat this up. Maybe. It's good enough. It looks fine. There's some stuff here. We have access to Dovin's Veto. Memory Deluge. Eventually, if we can get that 4th land. Negative. Cheese a brick house. Do we care about this? Probably not. We should deal with a threat. Because we can get rid of that land later, right? That's not going to be a problem for us. Really? I mean, sure. Yep. Cool. Nice. Never punished. This is our 2nd white source. Keeps the archive. Don't let me down. Nice. No counterspell. We have a ton of available mana, though. That is, that's worrisome. Not as worrisome as that. Let's throw a Deluge. We do retain access to it. Chamber of Possibility. Look at the top 4. Put one of them into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library. Again, interesting. Very much so. Another land, 3 life. 7 available mana on their side. All of our mana is basic too. But I think that we are able to punish them harder than we ourselves get punished. Right? We actually have 1 land stay. Oh no. I think they just did us a favor. Not really. Believe it or not. We don't draw land here. Okay. Might toss a Fall of Thran. And then our hand is invisible again to them. They get a land. Cheating. That's cheating. Nice. Never punished. Well, I mean, kind of punished in all honesty. Good for them. Okay. No, I don't like that. We're just chilling. Ooh. Toss and absorb. Well, this has certainly slowed down a bit, hasn't it, Fairy? Oh my gosh, we could have kept that Deluge to draw lands. Interesting. I don't think we can pull a land here, can we? Non-creature, non-land.
just the trick for this.
Oh, there was only one land there. Wow. I think another divide should be helpful. Maybe not. We have no counter magic up here. That is good. But we have Narset out, which is super duper helpful. Alright, to slow down any draws.
An open mind.
I don't want to discard it, so I might just play it now.
Anyone who harms my people, let your blade do the talking.
We want to keep the land. Sorry, keep our hand. Only the one draw per turn, thanks to Narset. And a -2.
May your blade strike.
Time Warp ourselves. Just hopefully we get another land. 2. I think we want to nuke their lands again, don't we?
Remember your training.
Getting to the point where they have a lot of available mana. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we would need 6. Let's just throw Teferi out then, I suppose.
I'm known for my excellent time.
Untapping the lands for Dovin's Veto is most likely the best option. Discarding Day of Judgment. We have Supreme Verdict as well. I can probably go for our next discard. Perfect counterspell. Land in, no draw. Land in. Let's plus up.
Show them
Plus
how
up.
we greet our
You know what?
enemies.
I'm not done.
Beautiful. Nuke their lands. We nuke one of ours. But it's a massive gain in our advantage. And then we hit. EEA Beautiful. We also get to untap for our next Dovin's Veto. There isn't one. We're going to get some lands into play here. Getting one draw from the Guild Summit. Wanted to call it the Gate Summit. Teferi goes up. Take the draw.
Let's skip to the good part.
Wanderer pushes up one of the samurais. Oh! Let's counter that. Take our hit for 7. Lethal next turn. And turn. No need to untap anything. I was thinking about dividing Fall of Thran, but I'm sure we're fine here. Just with an easy win. Roll Spiral's fine. And they do get a draw. 2 lands, good game. Ha 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 ha. Fantastic match. Holy Toledo's. As if Teferi wasn't oppressive enough. Let's slow this down a bit. It's pretty hard to gain any advantage in the match without the resources to do so. I think another good example, similar to a land destruction deck, is the really heavy discard build where, you know, you don't have a hand anymore to interact with your opponent. In this case, we don't care about our opponent's hand because we're just going to take the resources out from underneath it. So they could have as many cards in their hand as they want, but they're not going to be able to play any of them, right? That's kind of our main focus here. And a certain, you know, aspect to the deck that hasn't been mentioned yet. Oh, gotta love the cat butt sitting right on the keyboard. Thanks, Tuesdays. There's some things that we're weak against, and now this may be a very strong deck in best of 1. I feel that it may have some shortcomings in best of 3. First off, we have Divine Purge, which is not fantastic for us. Just exile all artifacts, and all of these lands are artifact lands, so we would lose all of our lands against the Divine Purge. This is very bad. There's also the new red card that cat is still in the way. Double E. Here we are. The Structural Assault. Destroy all artifacts and then deal damage to each creature equal to the number of artifacts that were put into graveyards from the battlefield this turn. So again, this would be really, really good against any deck running these artifact lands. So for every pro, there is typically a con, and I like to highlight both the strengths and weaknesses. To wrap up the video, this is an incredibly strong deck in best of 1, as typically people aren't main decking mass artifact hate. However, if it does gain popularity, catches on, it's very simple to sideboard against through some of that artifact removal. With this being said, that's why we have the counter magic, right? So we can still get a good match of magic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, if you're interested in more content, I do have a YouTube channel of my own that you can find at HelloGoodGame. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you more in the future.